Hello, I'm Matthew from Ludovox, and today I'm going to give you an overview of Yamatai. So Yamatai is a peaceful conquest game that plays for 2 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, and it plays for 20 minutes per player, so between 40 and 80 minutes. So in this game, what you're going to do is to try to conquer and better the islands of Yamatai. So this is kind of Atlantis for Sino-Japanese people. And it's going to basically be a race for victory points because we want to win the smile of the Princess Himiko. The victory points are awarded by specialists, building buildings, and also a few other things like money or favors, which are awarded by building on prestigious places. So the way the game plays is very simple and at the same time a bit tricky. So you have 10 action tiles, and these provide you with boats, which are the basic move and flow of the game, plus a certain action that is written on them. So all of them are different, and all of them provide different bonuses, which can affect the game dramatically, like moving ships or swapping ships, removing ships, and so on and so forth. So once I choose my tile, I will move my meeple. So for example, let's say I'm purple, I take the 10, I move my meeple to 10, and it means that next turn I'm going to play last because it's the last tile. If I had chosen 1, I would be assured of being the first because this is the first tile in the display here. So choosing your tile is going to affect what you are going to do on the next turn. But on the other hand, if you take a later tile, it's going to give you a more prominent advantage. So for example, let's imagine I take this. I'm going to take what it says. So a red, a brown, and a green boat. And then I can lay them out. So I can lay them out from the entry points, and then let's imagine that people have played this and I took other boats, like these ones instead. Instead of going from the entry points, I can continue the roads that have already been discovered. So I could go from the brown or the red boat, but I have to follow a very simple rule. I have to start my chain with a boat of the same color. Then I'm going to take. Then I'm going to go to the next phase. Either I take culture tokens, which are these tokens on the board, or I build. So if I take culture tokens, I'm going to take 1 token per boat I put, and all of my tokens, the tokens I take, must be adjacent to the boats I put. So for example, in this case, I can take this one, and then this one, this one, and this one with the black one. So I get 3 tokens, and the tokens are going to help me buy specialists, which are basically superpowers, power-ups. But I'm going to buy them at the end of every turn. So I also have a transaction, which is very important. With gold, I can buy or sell my boats. So I have only 1 transaction per turn, so I can make my boats go further in the islands and take more, or I can sell them for more money and get more victory points and maybe buy a bit more expensive ships in the next turns. So instead of taking culture tokens, I can also build. And building is very important because it's one of the main sources of victory points. So buildings are these tiles in this market, and they have requirements, and they have to be built on a free island, of course, and I have to meet the requirements. So for example, this Toreador is very expensive. It's going to be massively difficult to build, but this small castle is a bit easier. So let's imagine I build this one. I can build it in a place that is supplied by 2 red boats and 1 brown boat. And voila, we have one here, and I placed my boats here this turn, so that works. I'm going to build this building here with my buildings, my personal supply of buildings. I take this tile, earn victory points. That's basically how you build. And then finally, you're going to maybe keep boats that you didn't use, and finally recruit a specialist. So recruiting a specialist is very easy. Either you discard 2 tokens of the same color or 3 different tokens, you take a specialist from the display, and there you go. The specialists will award you some victory points and permanent powers. For example, here Yamatai is going to give you 1 victory point, and anytime in your turn, once per turn, you can discard a culture token to get a yellow boat, which are the most rare boats, the rarest. Then every player is going to play a turn like this, so selecting a tile and doing all of the actions, and then we're going to refresh everything. So things are refreshed by adding stuff, not by removing and adding stuff. It's very important for the renewal of the game. So then you renew everything, flip new tiles, have a new turn order maybe, and then you can continue on playing. So every specialist that hasn't been selected also gets money on him, or her, so it's kind of more attractive to take them. And the game continues until one of the 3 end conditions is met. So the 3 end conditions are if a color of boat is depleted, or the market cannot be replenished, so the specialist market or the building market cannot be supplied again. So in these 3 cases, we finish the round and then we count victory points. So victory points are made by buildings, they are made with specialists and fans. So the fans are victory point tokens and money. So the victory point tokens are going to be awarded if you do special stuff, like building a building on a mountain, which awards you 1 fan, or if you build close to a prestige building. So for example, if purple builds a building here, it's close to the Tory, so he would get 1 victory point. So if gray builds close to the Tory and a palace, he would get 2 because the special places are going to match and to add up. And then the one with the highest score wins. Well, now you know almost everything there is to know about Yamatai, so bye bye and see you on the box.